Hail Adventures, Pwn Star here with Pwn Star Gaming. Guys, how are you today? Today's video is going to be over the new Taming Beastry. Really excited about this one because it is a codex for Tamer. Now, I know we already have the Wizard's Grimoire or whatever weapon codex that we're using, but this is specifically for Tamers, albeit without choices. Now, there are choices if you do take into consideration the different pets that you can pick from and all the different traits and all that fun stuff. But today, we're just going to focus on the book itself. So sit back, grab yourself a beer, and let's talk about it. All right, first off, I do want to remind you guys to hit that subscribe button if you're a new player to Ultima Online Outlands or you're a seasoned veteran and you just like Outlands content. I do post a video every week onto this channel over the Outlands, and it's a ton of fun. So hit that subscribe button. That way, when we hit 1,500 subscribers on July 4th, we can celebrate with some fireworks. First off, in order to get a Taming Beastry itself, it's just like any other codex or wizard grimoire that you would get anywhere else. All you need is 25 arcane scrolls, 1 MCD, and find a person with 110 in the inscription skill. If you don't have anybody that can craft it for you, feel free to message me on Discord and I will gladly meet you in shelter and help you craft one with your materials free of charge. All right, so now we have ourselves a Taming Beastry and we're ready to go out into the dungeon, the wilderness, wherever, and start gaining some of that sweet Taming Beastry experience. So what do? Well, like I said, you just go out and kill a bunch of monsters, but there is a catch. You can't just simply use the exact same pets over and over and over until the Taming Beastry is completely filled up. Once one pet has leveled up, you generate 5 points of affinity, and then you can no longer use that pet. So if I have my typical barbed prowler and sand roach, and I just keep killing monsters over and over, well then I'm gonna sit with 10 points because that's 2 pets in my animal affinity for the remainder of the time until I switch pets up. Another thing of note when generating experience for your Taming Beastry is that, as you guys know, it takes 120 animal taming to tame a barbed prowler. Therefore, the formula for the experience needed to get the 5 affinity points for the barbed prowler would be 120, because that's the skill the animal taming required, times 1,000. So I need 120,000 experience to get the 5 points for the barbed prowler. So with that being said, if I had a brown bear that required 50 animal tame and I times that by 1,000, well then guess what, guys? I only need 50,000 experience to level the brown bear to get the 5 affinity points. You guys see where I'm going with this? Now hang in there, remember that, and we'll talk more on that here in just a moment. Now let's go ahead and talk about some of the different perks that you can gain while traveling through the world and killing things with thousands of different pets. You're a regular Jack Hanna Steve Irwin now. Congratulations. Either way, the first that we're going to talk about, and my personal favorite, is going to be Underdog. Underdog is great because it eliminates that whole everywhere you see is a sand roach and a barbed prowler. Everywhere. That's all there was. Now, you can actually take pets, something like a brown bear, for example, that requires 50 animal taming. If you have 120 animal taming, well, then it's going to be buffed up in the terms of damage and resistance based on the difference of what your animal taming skill is and the required amount of animal taming to tame that creature. The next perk, and then every other perk here on after as you level your Taming Beastry, is going to be Beastmaster. And what Beastmaster is it's just simply a flat increase to your damage and your resistance that your pets do. Once you get to the maximum Beastmaster 5, which is going to be 200 points, then not only do you unlock more stable slots, but you also get the title of Legendary Beastmaster. Congratulations. At 40 affinity points, you get Thrifty. Thrifty is fun because you actually have a 50% chance not to consume either bandages or regents when you heal your pets. And if you're like me and you like to pull way more than what you can chew, you end up healing a lot. So this one, I'm looking forward to. Animal Rescue is actually going to be the 80 point affinity. And if you happen to lose a pet mid-combat, well, then you can resurrect your pet and it won't come back with very minimal life. It'll actually come back with 25% of its health. Now, you don't have to necessarily be in combat for that to work that way. However, it is a very nice save a day when you can throw your pet back in there with 25% life versus hardly any, and you're throwing more heals on it. At 125 points, you get curatives, which actually is going to help increase the chance that you cure your pet of poison. Now, that one may not seem like much, but I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I pull a bunch of monsters and they get poisoned and I fail a poison, it really sucks. So every little bit helps. And finally, at 175 affinity points, Field Doctor. Field Doctor is going to give you a flat 15% increase in the amount of damage that you heal when you heal your pets. If you think about it and you take all of those abilities that we just talked about, including the Beastmaster ones that just constantly stack on top of each other, paired with your Wizard Grimoire or your Codexes or your Aspect and your Mastery Chains and all this different stuff, Tamers are really in a good place right now, and they always have been. But to be honest with you, I think just about any class is in a really good place right now. It is a lot of fun coming up with all the different builds and different techniques and play styles and all this fun stuff, and this is just one more of those things that Ultima Online Outlands has implemented into a 25-year-old wizard game to make it more of our time. Thanks, guys. So I'm going to give you guys a little tip, trick, secret, whatever you want to call it, but here it goes. If you guys notice, you've probably seen a bunch of, I don't know, horses and bears and cows killing lich maguses or whatever else that are pretty strong creatures. And the reason for that is like what we talked about earlier. It is the required taming amount times 10 equals the amount of experience that's needed. Now, the formula for everything is going to be the amount of damage that the player deals to the monster based off of the amount of gold value of said monster. So if you're sitting there bashing with your fully leveled Macing Codex on a creature and you've got a brown bear that is barely doing any damage, however, your Macing Codex is just piling away at these monsters, well, then you're going to be killing them at a pretty fast rate. Probably faster if you had a barbed prowler next to you and trying to get 120,000 experience. You see where I'm going with this? Also, another tip, you can actually increase the amount of gold value for the creatures that you're killing by wearing fortune armor. Now pair that with a fortune weapon. If you get a fortune proc, once again, the gold value of that creature increased, therefore increasing the amount of experience gained for that kill. Guys, it is time for our raffle. We probably have a lot of people in this week's raffle. But before we jump into that, I do want to remind you guys that I have been streaming on YouTube, typically on Wednesday nights and Saturday nights at 8:30 Eastern. So make sure you jump in, hang out with me and everybody else, and let's level up this Taming Beastry, shall we? All right, my friends, here we are. We've got a list of all the names that commented in last week's video. Pretty big list, if I do say so. So let's go ahead and see who's going to win. Remember, real quick, all you got to do to be part of the raffle is just comment below a video suggestion for next week. So let's go ahead and see who wins this week. Falan. Congratulations, Falan. That is twice that you have won. So let's see how much you're going to win. Here we go. 1 through 100. $61,000 gold. Congratulations, Falan. Falan, you've done it before, so you know all you got to do is just message me on Discord and I will gladly meet you in shelter with your check for 61,000 gold. Congratulations, man. You're soaking me dry, brother. Either way, guys, let's go ahead, jump into our beer of the day. And while we do that, guys, thank you so much for watching. I do want to thank each and every one of you guys for subscribing to the channel. Don't forget, we're going for 1,500 subscribers by July 4th. That's our goal. Thank you to the Patreons. If you guys really want to support me, join up on that. Come hang out with me on YouTube live every Wednesday and Saturday night, 8:30 Eastern, and become a member there or whatever you want. But either way, guys, the Truth IPA, these guys from Flying Dog Brewery are really cool, man. They have their labels are the illustrator from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. They have some pretty risque labels like Flying Bitch, or excuse me, Raging Bitch, and different things like that. So they've really fought their First Amendment rights. There's a story in our Discord under the Beer Talk section if you want to hear more about it. But either way, guys, Skull. Bone Star Gaming out.